Hey everybody, I'm going to do another short video, just another discussion I wanted to have and see what people's thoughts are on it. But like, I'm a landscape company that sells firewood on the side. And a lot of the stuff I get comes from my business. I have started getting logs from other landscape companies and tree companies that don't want to deal. Either they go do a homeowner job where there's only like a half acre and there's not a picker load, like a full cherry picker load, and they're paying so much for trucking now. They'd rather bring me like a dump. Most of these guys have 12 to 16 foot dump trailers, and they'll give me a good deal on just bringing that dump trailer to me, because they're paying a guy $400 now to go with a cherry picker and pick that stuff up for them. So now they'd rather load it in their own trailer, bring it to me, get rid of it at the end of the day. I found lately it's not hard. You stop and talk to these tree guys, and it's like one of them I talked to a day later, I got a load from him. And he basically, that deal worked out good because it was like, hey, if you take the center rotted pieces from the bottom of the log, I'll give you the good stuff with it. And he just dumps the stuff off, which is awesome. Free wood's never a bad thing. But this video, I want to say, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel going, but I watch a lot of other YouTubers, and you see these companies that will bring these splitters in and let them use them, and the guy will talk it up like how everybody should go buy one of these. I've watched a couple videos the last couple days, and some of these aren't even wood processes, that you already have to have the wood cut 16 to 18 inches long, and you load it onto a hopper and it feeds it, and it's a vertical splitter with a table. Nice thing, but then the guy says it costs $70-something thousand. I'm like, I bought this super split right in front of me. I want to say it was quite a few years ago, but I think I paid like $3,000 for it, $3,200, whatever it was. Even that to me is an investment to split wood on and make money. I don't see, unless these guys are selling 1,000, 1,500 cords a year, and even then, $70,000 for something that just splits the wood. I shouldn't say 70. It was like 77.5, I think. And even the smaller ones, like I'm not going to use names because I don't want people beat me up on YouTube. But the reality is, I don't see how you can justify buying a wood splitter that cost even $30,000. And it's nothing now. You see one that costs $28,000, and then you buy a conveyor belt to put on the end of it to stack your wood into like a wood bin or whatever, or load it in your dump truck. That's another $12,000 to $20,000. So like, I'm just watching these YouTube videos, and I'm like, hey, if I get famous on YouTube and a company calls up and says, hey, take this, use it, and say what you think of it, I'm going to do that. Don't get me wrong. If I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to do that because I'll use their machine to split my wood. But I'm not going to lie to people and say, hey, this will change your life. It should change your life for 30 to 70 to 100. Like, I got a buddy that does logging I'm good friends with, and I get some stuff from him now and then, but he did buy a brand new processor probably 10 years ago that was $125,000. This is something that you took a loader and loaded 15, 20 logs on it, and it had a chain that would bring them in, drop them in. This cut it, split it, everything. But he kept it for like 2 years. 2 years in, he's told me he's probably doing somewhere around 375 to 400 cords a year with it. And he's a logging company, and what's weird is a lot of times he said it's smarter for me to chip the stuff because the chips are worth more than what you got to go through to make it into firewood. And it aggravates a guy like me because I guess the chips are needed for whatever. So it's not a waste by no means, but it's just like, so he said a lot of times I chip it, and then he had a chance to get out of that, and he got out of it, because that's what he said. He goes, 2 years in, it's already become a maintenance nightmare because there's so many moving chains that are wearing out, sprockets that are going bad. How many hours is that Honda motor going to be good for? I think his actually had a diesel motor on it. But even, he just said, he goes, I had a chance to get rid of it, and recoup my money, so he did. He did buy another one since then, but it's not as automated. You got to load it, and it's got a slide system that will slide the log down in. It is hydraulically driven as far as pushing the log, but the chainsaw is on like a pivot point. It's a lot of manual to it. There's still some hydraulics to it, but it's a chainsaw mount type thing. So he's got a big Husqvarna that he puts on it, and as it tips down, it revs up and cuts. It works out pretty good. Even that tends to be like I stop and talk to the guy that actually runs it once in a while, and there's a lot of maintenance to it. It's nothing to once a week you're working on it for a couple hours, either tightening a chain or doing this or something on it. But I just want to put a video out there just to see what comes back. I mean, people might get aggravated with me, but like, yeah, if I was rich, would I have? Even then, I think all the splitters I've had, I've been in this business for 25 years, my landscape company. I've sold wood, pretty much all of it. I've always had to deal with trees through my landscape business. Even when I just started out, all I did was lawn care. I still had to cut trees down. Homeowner would say, hey, can you get rid of this? And that's how my company went from being lawn care into the landscape construction end of it now. You just deal with wood in this type of business. But I just don't understand how guys think that they're going to make money with something that costs 30, 40 grand. I mean, I don't know how much wood you'd have to split to justify it. And a lot of these guys are buying grapple loads off a truck that they're probably paying $1,000 to. Like my area right now, the cheapest like 8-cord load you can get delivered to your house from a big guy would be, I'm going to guess, $1,200. 3 years ago, it was $700 or $800. Right now, it's $1,200. You go on my local marketplace page in this area of New Hampshire, and the cheapest one I found on there this morning before I did this video was $1,200. Everybody else was $1,500. So you're paying $1,200 or $1,500 to get a 7 or 8 cord load dropped to your house. You got to cut that and split it. So all these guys are buying. Most of these guys on YouTube are buying grapple loads and cut and split. To me, there ain't enough money on the other end, especially if you're doing it with a machine that costs $30,000 to $70,000. So I don't know if you want to call this video a rant, because it is a little bit of a rant for me, but I'd like to see if other people watch the videos and thinking the same thing I did. Like I watched a couple this morning because I got up early, had a couple cups of coffee, watched some videos, and like it seems to be a popular thing now. These companies are pushing these wood splitters and processes, and a lot of these processes are like a wood splitter with like a processing table that you load with a small tractor that takes like a 10 or 12 foot log. And same thing, I looked up one of the brand names that was on there this morning because they didn't have a price. I looked it up on their website. $26,000, and all that is like a little bit better than a homeowner log splitter as far as I'm concerned. All the years I've been doing it, this Super Split's probably the most productive machine. And it's not hydraulic. It's got a flywheel, and when you hit it, it grabs it and thrusts it forward. I don't know what the return cycle is on this. I should know. But I did know when I bought it. But I know this is better than any hydraulic cylinder style I've ever had. And once in a while, if you have 2 people on this, you can split a serious amount of wood in a day. I think if someone made a bet with me, I could probably split a cord of wood with this by myself fairly easy in less than an hour, especially if it was big chunks like this. But like I said, I'm doing this video, put it out there, see what people think. I'd like to think I'm not the only one that watches those videos, and I'm like, how do you justify? But like I watched one this morning, and the guy's big thing was, either one of these will change your life. It should change your life. When you're buying a log, like I said, these were both log splitters, not even processes. You still had to cut it and load it onto it. All this did is split your wood. Another thing I find, and a lot of my customers say that they get wood from me, and I split it small, you can see. A lot of those, any processor, sooner or later, like let's say you do a cord of wood on a processor, I'll guarantee when you get that delivered to your house, there's 6 to 10, maybe even 15 pieces in there that slip through that are big pieces. And the reason I split this wood so small is because I have a lot of elderly customers. 20 years ago, I had a couple elderly people ask me, hey, can you split my wood smaller? They'd say, hey, I need it 16 inches. I had one woman that used to take 12-inch stuff. But she wanted it split something she could grasp with her hands so she could deal with it without asking for help. And once I did that, they talked to other elderly people, and a lot of my customers are people that are 60, 70, 80. One woman I had, I want to say the woman that I originally did this for, she bought wood from me until she was probably in her 90s. And then I think the kids came in and switched things around so the house would heat better. And I haven't heard from her for a few years. I hope all is well, but I mean, the reality, you don't know. But nice woman. I did a lot of other landscape stuff for her, and we ended up selling wood to her for quite a few years. But that's the reason I started splitting it small. But I think the process is just let a lot of wood go through that's big. I also look underneath them sometimes, like when you're watching these videos, there's so much splintered waste. I'd like to know at the end of a day how much wood is wasted. Like, I'll guarantee on those big ones that you load like 15 or 20 logs on and they roll down, you cut them. I guarantee at the end of the day, you've wasted at least a quart of wood. It was just splintered mess that you're losing on the ground and what comes off the belt. So like I said, call this a rant, I don't know. But again, I'm a landscape company that does a lot of other things. This is kind of a rant, but I'm going to put it out there. My daughter says I should do more videos like this where I'm just talking and asking questions. And I have had a lot of people reach out to me through my YouTube channel and my Facebook that were surprised I get right back to them. But they'll ask me questions sometimes on my thoughts on stuff. So I'm going to start doing a few more videos like this. I hope they do well. And again, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like my content.